Hi there, my name is Sayed. So welcome to the channel. If it is your first time, please like and subscribe, check out other videos. And in this tutorial, I will be showing you on the computer. So let's get on the other side and I will show you that. Thank you very much. Hello friends, so we are on this side of the video where I will be showing this tutorial on the computer. So this is part 2 series of SAP SD sales and distribution tutorials. My name is Sayed Rizvi. So let's get started with this video. So SAP SD book content. So basically this is what we are basing this course out of: foundation learning. We will be learning in the early videos about foundation learning, and then we will be moving on to the enterprise structure, master data, order management and contracts, and so on and so forth. So that is the structure that I am showing up here. And so what is the recap from the last video? We have foundation learning, start learning from basics. We discussed that, how to use SAP GUI, that some of the basic tips and tricks. I will be showing those additional tips as we go along in this video. So time to time I will be sharing those. So please stick to the video and watch those tips because the tips will be coming into the video time to time. So we looked at what is SAP, what is ERP, SAP project. We have then we learned about that, and SAP roles. So that is the recap we have from the last video. So let's get to the next slide. So terms from SAP. So basically this is called system landscape. I have pulled this from my book that I have published, SAP SD Sales and Distribution. Book link will be in the description below. So system landscape is basically representation of that in any organization. When they do some implementation, they have sandbox, development, and quality and production. So what happened is, sandbox is a server which is basically is same as the SAP system, which is basically that way you can do changes and make changes appear. It would not affect development server or quality server or production server. So you can try to test things in there and see where you can test more stuff in there. So system landscape is created so when project is implemented, that consultants can do configuration in sandbox, then bring it to the development, and then bring it to quality for testing, and then testing happen all of these servers, and then after they finish, they bring it to production. So how changes are made? So for example, if one configuration has happened on sandbox, that is copied into the development. Basically the copying function is called transport. In SAP, transport mean that you can copy the piece of configuration and you put this into the transport, and this will bring it to the development. So you can so that's how the transport in SAP is a functionality of SAP, that you can copy certain configuration as you have developed and bring it to the next server and to see. So for example, you have developed some different order types. You don't want to bring all of those. You can bring selected configuration that is you are successful of, and then after you bring this into the development, then you can test this more further and bring it to the quality. Then basically you're filtering it out what functions and processes you are configuring and bringing to the next level. This process take the whole project from sandbox to production take maybe some time. It's long time, maybe 6 months to a year or longer, depend on the project, or sometime if it is a enhancement, that is a different scenario. So basically system landscape is you can looking at by this that system landscape is SAP servers are basically identical to each other's, but the configuration is transported to the final production system after we have go live. So last transport go to the production when we already have tested and the whole project is completed. Then in the last we put this all together into the production and make it call it as a production go live. So that's what is it, system landscape. So let's get to the next video. So what is SAP S4 Hana? So SAP S4 Hana is a newer version of SAP, and so I have a whole video on this. You will find the YouTube link in the description below, where you can watch this video and learn about this. And so SAP S4 Hana tutorial, what is SAP S4 Hana? So that video I would highly recommend to watch it. And let's get to the next slide up here. So what is database? I also have this YouTube link in the description below. So this is I would say essential to understand. If you know what is database is, skip this. If you do not know, I would highly recommend to try to understand what is database is and how it help and how that SAP consultant can learn about it and use it in their projects and their learning. So let's go to the next slide. So this is, so I have shown this transaction code /o, open a new session /n to end current transaction on current session. I mean delete current session /end. So you can do /n end, or you can do /n ex, so without saving. So these this chart I have showing you, this is from my book as well, and the book link will be in the description below. So let's get to the next slide, and we will do this in the end of the video, how I will show you this how this works. Okay, so T codes tips. So as I mentioned in the last video that I will be showing some of the tips how to remember the transaction code or T codes. So if you see N in any transaction, it mean number, and when you see V, it means sales, F mean billing. For the most part this is very true. M for material master, and when you see 01 to create, 02 to change, and 03 to display, and 05 for the report. So not everything is to the T. You might find some of this for the most cases you can remember one transaction code. For example, we looked at VA11, so that was to create inquiry when we want to do change, VA12 and to do changes, and VA13 to display. So when we see 1 2 3, 1 is for create, 2 is for change, and 3 is for display. And I will show this example in the system, so you will have some better understanding. So these tips will help you to remember transaction code faster and easier. And this chart I also pulled from this book, from my book. Okay, so let's get to the SAP module. This is another thing. So we looked at SAP modules. So this is just a mind map that I have talked about in the previous video. And so by looking at this SAP ERP modules, PS is representing project system, CS is customer service. We can see SD is representing sales and distribution. So that is just a mind map representation of how SAP modules are in the system. And these are the few modules. I did not capture all of it, just to show SAP modules in SAP and how what abbreviation they have. WM for warehouse, MM for material management, and FICO is finance and controlling. So that those modules are in the SAP. If you remember those, that is good. If you do not remember all of those, that is fine, but the major ones are MM, SD, WM, FICO, LE, logistic execution, PP, and plant maintenance. So thank you very much. So let's get to the next slide. All right, so SAP system demo. So we will be looking at SAP GUI tips, SAP SD processes, sales and pre-sales, and more. So let's get started with this. So we are in SAP Easy Access menu. So last time we logged on from the SAP Easy Access application, but this time I just already opened this, and so we are going to take a look at this. So we are looking at SAP transaction code, the transaction code shortcuts. So let's take a look at this. /O, I'm going to do VA11. So let's click up here. So that is the session I already have open. So if I want to close this session and delete this session, I can do /I. So that session is gone now. So let me open one more up, this VA11. Let me open this different one, SPRO, the backend configuration transaction. So I'm just gonna drag it up here, and if I want to do completely exit out of SAP, so I can do /N end. So system is asking me if I want to log out of a system. If I do /EX, it will close all the session and log me out of it. So I don't want to do this right now, but this is the transaction code you can do. And if you have 6 session open, you don't want to close one by one, you can do this /NEX to exit out. So and if I want to do just only /N, it will just end the session. And so these are the transaction code shortcuts that is very handy to remember. And so let me open this up here, and let me get back what other. So we talked about SAP SD process. So SAP GUI tips, it will be coming along on many different videos. So okay, so let's take a look at logistics, sales and distribution. So we will be looking at pre-sales, and so what is processes SAP already have. And so SAP, they have already designed a system where they predefine this functionality in the system already. And when they design the system, they call it best practices. So best practices mean that as per the SAP standards, they have reached out to different industries and defined them as a best practices. So as an end user, I will show a transaction and give some business context that why are we doing this. So for example, inquiry is a process where for example, a customer come into the company and they want to inquire about the product. So we will create an inquiry in the system, and as an end user standpoint, we will take a look at it, and later on then we will be designing and later on videos. So, but we need to understand how in the system we are doing this and why are we doing this. So let me going into this folder VA11. So just to remember this, you can just enter this up here, VA11 as well. So I'm just going to double click up here, and so as you can see, this information is already pre-populated because I have used this previously. So that is the function of SAP that is useful. If you have used any transaction in the previously, it's automatically copy this into the new session. So if I just delete this right now, and also if I want to remember what I have entered, so I can click up here and then I can do search by going drop down. I can click this and search this by. So it will show me that what other order types are available for inquiry. So what is order type in SAP? This is the order type is a different configuration in the system. As per the order type, different number ranges and different functionality get come into system. We will be configuring this as a consultant later on, but right now as an end user standpoint, we are just looking at it. So, and as an end user, they might have some specific inquiry type they have to use. And if I want to drop down this, I can search it, but there would be many different sales organizations out there. I can simply press spacebar and it will bring the old values. I can do spacebar again, and I can do spacebar and select this. So that's how you can do this as well if you do not remember, and system do not copy this. So I'm just going to do this. And before I do more, so you can create with reference. If you have a system is already set up this way, you can also go by this different areas directly from here. So what I mean by that is, we will take a look at this right now. Just to create right now, I just enter the order type inquiry IN. I put the sales organization, distribution channel, and division. So now what is this? So in SAP, to represent a sales organization, it is defined into the sales area. What is sales area? Sales area is comprised of sales organization, distribution channel, and division. So what are all those? We will be learning those later on, but right now just remember this right now, that we are entering as per the company provided area that we would like to create. So sales organization is the organization which is responsible for the sales. Distribution channel, how goods are distributed, and division is a part of division that we are working towards. So I'm just gonna press enter now, or I can click on this icon. I can do both. So let me just click on this up here. So now we are seeing that we are in create inquiry overview screen, and we can see that we have to put a sold to party up here and ship to party. So now what is sold to party and ship to party? So if you buy something online, that you probably have seen that you have multiple different addresses that you maintain in your system, your older address, new address, and you can ship it to somebody else. So one customer could have multiple different ship to. So in your name you might have 2 different addresses or 3 different addresses. You want to ship it to your work, or you want to ship it to your work, to your home, or do you want to then your old address will be showing in the system. So that's what this is. What is it? Customer is having multiple different role in the system. So I'm going to do this again, space bar, and bring the customer again. And so this is the sold to party. I'm entering this in, and also purchase order number, I can enter this in right now. I'm just going to put test 1 2 3 4 5. So this is just a purchase order number. Just going to put PO at the end of it. So and one thing I notice up here is the date format is coming into the Indian date format. So now what I have to do, I will change this into the system in GUI. So later on this video I will show this. So, and the material that we are inquiring about, this is material, and I'm just gonna put 4 right now. So now why are we creating this inquiry? So a customer call into the company, and they says I want to inquire about this product. So before the customer is able to create inquiry, customer service representative contacted the master data management and created the customer master. And after that customer is created, customer have 2 functions, sold to party and ship to party. And when the call is received, the sales rep took the PO number and received the how many material they want to order. They put the quantity up here, and I'm just gonna press this right now just to show. So as we can see on the bottom of the screen, take minimum order of 5. So this is coming from material master. So that is one of the integration that has been set up in the system, that minimum order have to be 5. So I'm just gonna okay, now before I move forward, so this yellow icon is representing the message. It's a soft error. Now what is soft error is that you can ignore this error and you can move forward, and with hard error, when you see stop error with the red sign, so where you cannot move forward. So I'm just gonna leave it like this and gonna press enter now just one more time, and you can see the soft error is gone. So to get out of soft error, you just press enter, but system just giving this error message, that the warning message that you need to enter this in quantity of 5 or more. So now I am into this screen, and rest of the prices and other information is populated in there. And where it's coming from is coming from material master, and then I did not put the ship to party. System automatically proposed the ship to party in there. So this is a basically basic structure of inquiry, and if I just click on save, it will save it. So, but let's take a look at it. So if I click on go to, so this is SAP inquiry screen. So I'm going into this from here. So we are looking at, this is having inquiry have a header and item. So now header is now by looking at here we do not see what is a header and what is item. So anything above this tabs are basically a header. No, sorry, anything above all items is basically a header, but anything below that is basically coming as a material item level. So what is item and header? So let's take a look at it. I'm gonna go to the sales tab up here. So we are in create inquiry header data. So these all tabs are related to header. So header is like when you make changes into header, it apply this toward all of the line items. So we will understand this concept when we move along. So but right now just understand, anything you make changes into the header is automatically applied toward all of the line items. So for example, if I make a change to ship to party to up here, because it's a header level, it will apply to all the line items. So now what are the line items? You see, you only see one line item, right? So I'm just going to enter this line item again up here. I'm going to make another line item of quantity of 5. So this time I'm putting one more quantity just to avoid this warning message, and see if warning message come up or not. So I press enter. Now line number 10 and line number 20 is coming. So what is line number 10 and 20? SAP have automatically as default 10, 20, 30 as line items. So now if I go to the header, so this is what I was talking about. If I make changes to the header, all line items will be affected as per the header. So go to header, I'm going to sales. So this is showing that my user ID and all the information related to sales, shipping. So all of those information are coming. So I also have a video on this where I talked about a sales order in detail with all the tabs, with step by step. But for our understanding, we are concerned with not everything in this, and we don't want to learn everything in this. So what we have to learn about main topics. So for now, just because this is the first time we're looking at it, so I'm not going to go into detail of everything in there. I'm just going to highlight some highlights. So sales tab have sales related information, shipping would have shipping related information, and it will affect a different functionality of the upcoming transactions. Billing tab have Incoterms, payment terms, and partners. If I click up here, we can see SAP have different partners of customer, sold to party, bill to party, payer, and shipment. So that is sold to party is like a customer, bill to party. You can have multiple billing. For example, you are billing it to different credit card, or you billing it to your check. So this is what is it. And payer, who is paying for that? You can have different payer on your order or your inquiry, and where are you shipping this. So this information is there. So you will be thinking why we are concerned about this at the inquiry level, because we are not shipping anything. Because when we create a quotation and sales order and we copy this information there, this information copied into the quotation and into the sales order. So that's why we are capturing this. So I'm just gonna go back. So this is, we are looking at inquiry screen. I just enter sold to party, I put material, and I put this quantity in there, and rest of the information is populating. So let's take a look at the item level. So I'm just gonna go to item and sales A. So because I did not select the item level, so I'm gonna select line number 10 and go to item sales A. So we can see create inquiry item data, and here it's showing sales document item number 10. So we are looking at item number 10, and it's showing that what are we doing with this quantity is here. If I click on this icon, next item, it updated to line number 20 and quantity is updated to 5. So at line level we can make changes. If I want to ship line number 20 to a different address, I can do this. And line number 10, it is different, so I can go to partners and I can make changes up here if it is allowed. and this is a function that we can do leverage at item level and header level. When we do make changes for header, it automatically apply to all the line items, and we can go into the line items and make changes for the as per the line item we would like to do. So I'm just gonna go back, green arrow back, and this is basically main screen, and I can click up here at the item overview. So it will show basically more at item levels and showing this, and also I can make inquiry valid from and valid to. For example, if I select this and I'm going to select, I'm putting this backdate up here, and let's select the date of valid till. So since I put the backdate, let's see what system would say. So it's saying that date in the past. So this is a soft error it is showing. I'm just gonna press enter, and now I am on the screen right now, and everything is done. I can click up here to save this. And as I mentioned, all the messages on the screen would be always on the left hand side on the bottom, and if I would like to see in more detail about that, I can double click up here, and it's bring the inquiry that I have just created. The inquiry number is this, has been saved. So after I save this, this automatically bringing me to the new session, new screen of creating new inquiry. So I can create another inquiry and save it in the system. So that's how we create inquiry in the system, and inquiry functionality would be used if customer come in and they would like to inquire about the product. Inquiry have some validity date, valid from and valid to, where you can put materials and you can define quantity, you can change prices on those. We do not looked at it, so let's take a look at the pricing up here. I'm just going to click up here, sales document, and gonna click change. Since I did not copy the inquiry number, and system automatically copies when I do any transaction, last transaction I have to it. So let's see if system picks the number. So yes, system picked the number automatically, and I'm going into the change mode right now. I just press enter. Now I am looking at the screen, and if I would like to go into the item, I can either go to the item, go to the condition tab, or I can double click up here and it's take me to the sales tab, and I can click up here to the conditions. So one thing I want to tell about SAP, you can do one thing with many different ways. So I just show you two ways, going by item and then going from here. Either I can double click up here, and this is the third way. I can click up here and click on item condition. So there is no hard certain rule that you are making mistake and you're not doing this and that. SAP is a complex software. You don't have to remember everything, but whatever is make it easy for you, what make you remember things, that is fine. And as long as you can get done your work, that is fine. So I'm going to click condition up here, and it's bringing me to the same screen. So now this is a item pricing level. I can look at it, item number 10, and I can change price up here. So I can click up here and put it as 20. If I press enter, it automatically updates the rest of these fields. So this is pricing screen. This configuration we have to do in the system, but right now we are not doing this. We're just looking at as an end user perspective. So if we understand what are we doing it and how this field is available for changes and this is not, and so this is the difference. So what we need to learn about that. So this is what is it right now. I just updated to 20, and when I updated to 20, as we can see, the prices of condition value is calculating to the 80 because we have 4 times 20 is 80. So this is what is it, and this is item number 10. So if I green arrow back to the main screen, I can see price is updated at the header level. So if I want to go into the line number 2, I'm just going to double click and it's automatically in the condition. I can make this into the 50 for example. So now it's updated the price and I press back arrow. So let me just go back in there. So 50 to 50 is there now, and there's a discount in there, so this calculated up here to the 240. So what we have so far is 312 because I changed the price. And so what I was talking about earlier, that if you make changes at header level, it applied to the all the items. So let me just demonstrate this right now. I'm going to go to the header conditions. So let's take a look at it. So pricing is not allowed to change at the header level because we can only make changes at the item level. So now I cannot do this. Let's take a look at another way what we can do. Ship to party, purpose, alternative. There's no alternatives available. So let me make changes at the header level that will affect all the line items. So shipping, billing. Okay, so terms of payment is 0002. That is at the header level. Let's take a look at the item level. Billing, terms of payment is 002. Line number 10, line number 20 is same. So what I'm going to do is go back. So going into the header, there is another trick you can do. Click up here and I'm going to select different terms of payment at the header level. So I'm going to select okay, so I'm just gonna select number 4. So let's select 004, and if I press enter, that is updated at the header level. Now if I go back to the item level, if I double click, and as we can see, line number 10 is 004 and line number 20 is also 004. So making if I made changes at the header level, it automatically apply changes to all the line items. So if you have 100 line items or 200 line items, you don't want to go one by one and change this. So that's how you do this, by going into the header and make changes, and that's how you can make changes at the header level, and it's automatically apply at the item level. So that is there, and if I do back arrow, now system is proposing automatically, do you wish to save your data first? I did this on purposefully just to show. And if I say cancel, because I just want to go back in there and make more changes, for example, click up here, save. So now I just made changes to this inquiry. So basically we just saw inquiry creation and inquiry change. So now how we know that we are in change screen? This is called change inquiry initial screen. I can also click up here and click on display. So now I am going into display mode of this. And what is the difference between change and display and create? In display mode you cannot make changes, and it's only in display mode. So if I want to press any key on my keyboard, it would not allow me to change anything. So that is the basically display mode. So I will go green arrow back again, back to the main screen. So inquiry, when customer come in and inquire about the goods they would like to buy and get the get inquiry, and after that somebody will come back to them and create a quotation. They might quote the price differently because maybe inquiry is not external document they would like to share. So you can create a quotation as per the reference to the inquiry, or you can create it start from quotation as well. So we're just gonna do this start from quotation, and the order type to create quotation is QT. It's easier to remember because you can see Q and T in there in the quotation. And the transaction code is VA21. And so let me just go back again, one more tick I would like to mention. So as you can see, the something we would like to learn, VA11 1 2 3, create, change, display, create, change, display. So that's how you can remember. So if you remember VA21 to create, then automatically you remember VA22 to change and VA23 to display. So if I double click up here again, go back in there, I just put the order type quotation, press enter. Now we are in the create quotation screen. In this screen I can use same customer, I can select the same material, quantity 5, let me just do again 4, and see what system proposed the error warning message. And I can reference the same PO number up here. So this is what is it. So I'm just going to press enter. The rest of the fields will be populated from the master data. It will pull the ship to from this customer and bring the information for the material master from the material master. So I'm just going to press enter. So now it's showing again that you need to put quantity of 5. I can actually make changes right now, put it as 6 right now, press enter, and now this quotation is getting created. So what is the basic difference between quotation and inquiry? Quotation have some different function as compared to inquiry. So you can copy quotation into the sales order, you can set up inquiry into the quotation, copy inquiry into the quotation, and then quotation copy into the sales order. So that is the difference is. So the business process behind the quotation is when a company representative quoting a price to the customer, that what price they are giving this product off. So for example, right now I'm just going to double click up here and go to the condition tab and update the price. For example, I'm just going to make it to $50, 50 Indian rupees, sorry, and there's a discount in there is calculating to the 288. So I'm gonna go green arrow back. So now I can save this quotation, and based on this I can print the output if we have set up output into this, and this will be given as a quotation, and quotation have valid from and to date. So if I do not save this, its system might well be showing that you have to save this. So let me try this right now. So this is saying that is incomplete. Now what is incomplete? In SAP system we can define fields that we would like to make it an incomplete quotation or inquiry, and based on that user will get this error that they need to enter this in. So for example, if end user do not remember to enter an important field, we can design a system the way, configure a system the way that a user can remember this. So end user do not have this functionality. As a consultant, when you do configure a system, you define this functionality into the backend configuration. So and then most of the time these configurations are already in the system. We can make an adjustment and add and subtract some of the fields that we do not want to do this. So I'm going to click on edit, and it will take us to this, and the field is valid too. So I'm just not gonna do this right now. I'm gonna show another way we can take a look at it. So system is giving messages what is going on. I can go to the edit and click on incompletion log. So incompletion log will show whatever we have not completed into the order. Before we save it, we remember it as an end user customer. They need to get trained on this, and after they have training they would remember it. Or if you do not have training, by trying to save this, if this is a save button up here, the disk, floppy disk, click up here and it will take us to the edit. I'm gonna select edit now, and I'm just going to follow this system's advice. So I'm just going to select this and say complete data. So it's saying that valid to quotation. I need to do this at the header level. Either I can do it from here, and let me show another place. Look, this is valid from and valid to. So this is valid to. So I'm going to make this as valid to 22/7/2020. If I press enter, if I click up here in completion log, document is complete. So now we can see this message is popping up on the bottom of the screen. After this document is complete, I can save this a quotation and I will get the quotation number. So that is this functionality of incompletion. Some of the functionality already exists in the system. By SAP, we can design it and change it as a consultant. But so we need to understand what users are doing, what requirements are, and how can we change this. So we need to understand this, the business process, and then take a look at it. How can we change the system as per the requirements? So click on save. Now quotation has been saved. So that is the functionality we just learned, how to create inquiry and quotation. And as we can see on the bottom of the screen, quotation number starting with this and ending with 200071 has been saved. So if I want to see more detail, I can double click up here, and this is the number is coming up here. So let me get back to the main screen. This is a pre-sales activity we just did, and we did end user transactions, and so now we are on the back main screen. So I'm going to do one more GUI related stuff in there. So I'm going to select system and user profile, own data. So what I'm doing up here is I'm changing a date format as per the US instead of as per the India. So I'm just gonna change this, click on own data. Now my last name and my username is coming up here in the system, so I'm going to change this defaults, and now it's showing me day first, month after, and year. So I can drop down, I can do month, date, and year. So that is the US format, and I can click up here. I want to see 12 hours, or if I want to see 24 hours. So that is what is it. As we can see, there are different things we can make changes up here. If you have this, and I'm going to make this save. So user data is saved. So now me open a new session. So if you, after you made some changes, you want to open a new session, and let's take a look at the inquiry VA11. And this is the main screen. I'm just going to press enter. Now still this is coming up here as older format. So what I have to do, I have to completely log off and log back in, then it will be showing the correct date format. So all right, so what we have learned so far, we have learned about SAP GUI, we have learned about pre-sales process, and what transactions we use for this, VA11 and VA21 for the pre-sales activity. And we have some videos into the lesson. Please go ahead and check out those videos. I will put the description of those video in the description below into the YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.